YouTube, what is going on? I am super excited because today is day one of my brand new program. I'm going to do a powerlifting meet. And today, as I said, is the first day of the first phase of my powerlifting meet preparation. So what we're going to be doing is looking at hitting main lifts twice a week. It's a 6-day split, and to start with, we are thinking volume, volume, volume. Because over time, what we want to be looking at doing is reducing that volume and increasing the intensity with which I'm lifting to make sure that I'm tapering nicely into a meet. I'm going to take you through each and every single session that we're going to be doing, starting off with today's squat and upper body accessory day. Let's go hit it. My main squat day is focusing around a low bar squat. It's obviously the lift that I'm going to be doing in a powerlifting meet when the time comes. So today, what I'm looking at doing is one top set at around 80 to 85% of a theoretical 1 rep max. I haven't tested my maxes going into this program. We've used, as I said, theoretical numbers, just because I don't really want the huge strain on my body at the moment. I just want to get straight into it, into preparing. So today, as I said, one top set of 3 to 5 reps at around 80 to 85% of my 1 rep max. So today, I'm going to be hitting a set of 3 to 5 at 192.5 kilos. Now ideally I'm going to get through 5 reps rather than 3. That's going to mean that next week I can make a bigger jump up in terms of progression, lifting more, volume over time, so on. A little bit of grief in my right sort of hip region. So I'm just trying to use a trigger point ball to release my glutes, just to try and help loosen everything up through the hips a little bit. This is very painful. It's like foam rolling intensified. So if you have any issues with trying to recruit your posterior chain or engage your glutes during a squat, one of the good things that you can try doing is getting a resistance band, throwing it around your knees, and focus on externally rotating your knees at the angle that you would typically hit the bottom of a squat. So essentially what we're doing is working on driving your knees apart, which is the exact sort of thing that you want to be doing during a squat. And it won't take long before your eyes are absolutely on fire and very much activated. So final warm-up sets tend to become more of a mat practice situation in that you want to adequately prepare for your working set. So up to 180 now. I'm just going to hit this for a single and focus on getting as tight as possible, thinking about squatting 192.5 instead of just 180. So final warm-up set, I'm going to hit 190 for a single. Okay, so I hit all 5 reps. Serious high five to myself there, I'm happy with that. It means next week, my progression is gonna be on the larger end of the spectrum in comparison to if I just got 3 reps, say. So now, strip some of the weight back, 165, 4 sets of 8. Something you guys might want to think about. You're not always going to be feeling fantastic every day you walk into the gym. It's the nature of the beast. If you feel like you can't get through your designated volume, let's say, for instance, today I've got 4 sets of 8, but I just can't get through my 8 reps. There's really no harm in reducing the size of each rep and extending the amount of sets you're doing to make sure that you're getting through the same cumulative amount of volume.
So rather than say 4 sets of 8, you might be able to do 8 sets of 4 at the same weight and still get through the same amount of volume and hence stay on track in terms of meeting your volume targets over the day and the week. Keep it in mind, obviously not something that you want to be doing, but at the very least, if that is all that you can do that to make sure that your volume game stays strong. So normally I don't take BCAAs during my workout. I tend to time it between my protein-based meals. Because I ate around 2 hours before I trained today, I've already been training for sort of an hour or so. I find it helps to give me a little bit of a kick. Typically what it helps with is essentially assisting with muscle protein synthesis. You get some BCAAs in roughly 90 minutes to 2 hours after a protein-based meal. You can just sort of help with that muscle building, muscle retaining process. So normally I'll have it in between protein-based meals, as I said, but occasionally I find it helps to give a bit of a kick to my training as well. The next exercise we have is a chest-supported machine row. Again, what we're going to do is focus on tucking those hips under, engaging our core, and using our lats to really pull the weight back. A lot of people tend to get themselves in a bit of trouble with any pulling movement, tend to squeeze the bar or squeeze whatever it is that they're trying to pull, overactivate their forearms, and fail to engage their lats and their back properly. So what we're going to do today, throwing our thumbs over with our fingers and essentially turning our hands into hooks. That's going to help us to disengage the forearms as much as possible and actively target the muscles that we're actually trying to train. So with the chest supported machine row, you'll see we're actually using the neutral grip handles. Reason being, we're trying to actively target the lats more so than the rear delts. When we take our hands a little bit wider over the top, take that grip a little bit wider, we tend to operate using more of our rear delts or the back of our shoulder. With this accessory work in particular, we're trying to target our back. We're going to hit our rear delts in just a little bit. So stick with the neutral grip for now. And again, using that hook grip, the thumb over with the fingers to really disengage those forearms and target the lats as best you can. Okay, so we're going to finish off today's workout with a superset. We're going to go for a cable face pull and then a dumbbell bicep curl. I don't train arms a lot, so I'm not really looking forward to those. But we're going to hit 4 sets of between 12 and 15 reps of each. So we're looking at increasing the rep range for these final 2 exercises. 4 sets. Let's get through it. So with a cable face pull, I like to perform it with an overhand grip and actually incorporate a little bit of external rotation as I row the cable backwards. So essentially what we're doing is rowing the cable towards our face, towards our eyes, and then just rolling the shoulders backwards just to incorporate as much rear delt activation as possible. Again, we want to make sure our core is activated, so tilting those hips under, bracing the abs, pulling the cable towards our face, and then rotating over. Bicep curls are one of the most poorly performed exercises in commercial gyms. So many people use far too much momentum when they curl. As you can see, I'm really trying to isolate the amount of movement at my elbow, keeping that as still as possible, and actually forcing the bicep to do the majority, if not all of the work. So you can actually load it properly and hit arms without cheating. That brings us to the end of workout number 1 of the Become a Strong Motherfucker program, because that is the aim of the game. I'm going to become as strong as I possibly can over the next coming months, and I want you guys to join in on the fun. So over the next 6 weeks, I'm going to bleed out the 6 sessions in my current program so you guys can follow along and implement them into your own routine. As you can see today, what we did was implement the strength work at the start of the session and then bleed into that accessory, more hypertrophy style work towards the end. The majority of the accessory work is going to start off around the 12 rep range, and over the coming weeks we're going to look at increasing the intensity of the weight that we're lifting while simultaneously reducing the rep ranges of those exercises. We're also going to incorporate some higher rep range type accessory isolation work, as you guys saw at the end there with the rear delt cable face pulls, as well as the bicep curls. So guys, stay tuned. If you have any questions about today's workout, please throw them down there in the comments section. Obviously, if you want to find out more information about strength-based programming, you can do so in the description section underneath. But guys, until next time, thanks for watching. I'll see you then.